Hey everybody, happy Ocean Friday. We are back at the Shark Frenzy shop and I am so excited to be here with Brittanie again. This place is awesome and Brittanie is wonderful, so it's always great to see her and hang out. Today we are doing a special fossil episode. We're going to learn about why Venice is the shark tooth capital and how fossils really are fossils, what's the difference between a fossilized tooth and a live tooth, and then also see some samples here. So let's dive in. Brittanie, tell us, why is Venice the shark tooth capital? When I moved down here, I had known about it, but actually understanding how it is that way is really fascinating.
Absolutely. So fossils are fossils. Venice, Florida is typically known as the shark tooth capital of the world because there is the perfect combination of geology happening out in the ocean, out in the Gulf, and there's this whole sediment layer that is rich in fossils that is perfectly exposed right out here in the Gulf.
That's awesome.
So millions of years of sediments laying down has created this amazing, amazing geology that we have here in Venice.
Yeah, and you think that maybe we would run out of teeth, but sharks have a shit ton of teeth.
They have thousands of teeth, and so the cool thing about sharks, they have this predatory adaptation where they constantly are cycling teeth. They have many, many rows and they kind of move forward, and as they're doing their predation, many will fall out, some just fall out just because they're ready to fall out. They have thousands of teeth. It's amazing. In fact, sharks can have 35 to 55,000 teeth over their lifetime.
That's a lot.
I
can't even fathom that.
It's amazing.
Can you talk a little bit, because I actually went out a few weeks ago on Aquanut's boat with Mike and his crew. Great crew. I highly recommend them if you're in the area or even if you're vacationing down there. They do a great mega tooth hunt. Basically, you go and you look for shark teeth. But on the boat, when you get on, they do an intro to, hey, these are the teeth you can find, but then here's also the other fossils you can find. I had no idea that you could find mammoth bones and whale bones. On my last dive, I found part of a whale bone ear, like an ear bone.
Cool.
I feel really stupid, but I didn't even know that whales really had ears or ear bones.
Oh, it's okay.
So that was really fascinating. So can you talk a little bit about, the history of how we're finding whale bones and mammoths and that sort of, colossal, even megalodons?
Yes. So Florida has had many different phases where it was underwater to start, and then the sea levels dropped, it became above water, and then it was underwater again, and then now it's above water. So at some point, it was underwater for a very long time. We had sharks swimming all over. The land that we know it was, 60 feet.
Truly land shark.
It was land shark, truly. And so what happened then, we went through this ice age, and the sea levels dropped drastically. If you look out into the Gulf today, imagine land extending about 30 miles out. That's how it was when mammoths and mastodons and these amazing mammals were roaming the land here. And so that has changed significantly, but we find those fossils because they're out there and they're in the sediment layer.
Yeah. That's so cool. And it is very tricky, and we'll go over what to look for, because when you're down there, it's hard to know what is a fossil. Mike was really great, and he's like, if you're not sure, put it in your bag and bring it back. We'll let you know. And on my first dive, I, of course, got back and it was like, this is a rock. This is a rock.
I have a rock collection, too.
Exactly.
We all do.
We all do. But it's a lot of fun. So let's talk about, you have this little perfect explanation here, which we can kind of show the viewers up close.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people think that unless it's a black shark's tooth, that it might be a newer tooth. But that's actually not the case.
So that's actually a common misconception. The color of the actual fossilized tooth varies based on the sediments present at the time of fossilization. So if you can imagine a shark tooth that had just fallen out of, a megalodon shark, let's say that it lands in an iron-rich sediment, that's going to create a beautiful reddish color. Whereas if it lands in a phosphate-rich sediment, it'll be kind of bluish. And so it's all about where that sediment is located, or where that tooth is located within the sediment and what minerals are present in that sediment. So
that's really cool.
There's beautiful color variations, and there can be combinations of colors. It's so pretty.
Yeah, that's something that I did not know. So thank you for
of course
filling us in on that, because I think that's a big misconception when you're looking for fossils. You think that, they have to be black in order to be a fossil, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
Cool. How about we go over these really cool things that you have put together here. Which one do you want to do first?
We can go over the shark's teeth real quick. I think that'd be extra fun.
Brittanie made these really amazing little template doodads that actually go over, samples of teeth. So I'll let you talk about it.
So all of these were found here in Florida, and we have very rare shark's teeth on there, and we have some very common ones, as well as these. We have puffer mouth plates, and we have stingray mouth plates. Which
I just recently, a friend had told me about a puffer, as I'm looking at it, because, I'm going to hoard it. They're super cute. I did not realize that puffer fish actually have, like, little, it almost looks like a retainer. Like a puffer fish retainer. But it's very, very cute.
Very, very fun.
Yeah.
And so these are some of the common as well as uncommon shark's teeth that we can find here in Venice, Florida. And so there you see a megalodon. That's a juvenile megalodon.
Nice.
Lots of bull sharks. So the common shark's teeth that people find are bull, sand tiger, and lemon. And so you can see those right there on screen right now.
Yeah, that's
and so as we get to the
guys.
Yes. So those are beautiful.
Yeah, lemon sharks. I love lemon sharks.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
And
and hammerhead. Hammerheads are just so adorable.
So right there on the end, I want to pause here. That cow shark tooth. So many people have never heard of a cow shark. They are really interesting creatures. Yeah. Their teeth are very, very rare to find here in Florida. Recently, we had a young boy come into the shop, and he came in for shark tooth identification, and he actually found a cow shark tooth, which is amazing. Many collectors, they go decades without ever finding a cow shark tooth. Here in Florida, they're very rare.
And what and why are they rare to this area? Just because of where they're located in the world? And
yeah, so scientists believe it's based on their behavior, and I want to say I do believe that they're more of a deep water shark.
Gotcha,
so,
like the goblin shark.
I do believe that they are, yes.
Right on. Yeah. That's so cool. I've never seen one in person either. It looks like part of an actual saw.
Right. Yeah. They're insane.
That's very, very cool.
Then we have this other fossil.
Yes.
So we have many other fossils, everything from giant land mammals to reptiles. And these are all found here in Venice as well. Turtle shell's a real common one. People are surprised to also find horse teeth on the beach.
Yes, I had no idea that was something you could find down here.
So those horses were alive at the same time that all of the mammoths and those really big guys were alive. They're all Pleistocene age, which is known as that big ice age. There's movies made about it. Yes, we love those. And so we can find fossils from that time period, and it's really exciting.
That's so cool. And then, talk about this one, because I feel like, as a diver, even if you're on the beach, you find something that clearly is not a rock.
Yes.
But it's some sort of fossil, but you can't really tell.
Many times you'll pick up fossilized bone, not sure if it's rock or if it's fossil. Fossilized bone has a really grainy, woody texture, and they're really cool. Most of the bone that we find here is from a creature called a dugong. It's very similar to a manatee or whales.
Nice. Yeah. And so, then at the end we got fossilized, alligator tooth.
Yes.
Mammoth tooth. I'm totally skipping over stuff.
Yeah, that's a mammoth tooth fragment. Of course, mammoth teeth are very, very large.
I would love to find something mammoth.
Oh, that's amazing. Those creatures are so big, they're amazing.
And an alligator tooth, that is intense.
Oh, yes. They can be very big, and they certainly are such a crazy find. When you see them out there and you're washing the sand off of them, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I have not found one of those. Can you talk a little bit about stingray, if we go back to the stingray pellets and barbs, because I recently sent some to a friend back up in Ohio, and my friends were like, these are kind of creepy.
They're weird.
When you think about that, so what part, especially the puffer fish mouth plate, where is that in the stingray? Where is that in the anatomy?
So that is located within the mouth. And so it is it's an adaptation. It's a structure that's used for feeding. So they have these plates with the stingray mouth plates. They're all layered. Typically you find just little segments of them.
Yes.
But they can be a whole plate about this big. They're quite large, and so you'll only find smaller segments every once in a while and get real lucky finding bigger ones.
That's sweet. And then the barb is actually...
That's on the tail. That's located towards the tail, and that's the spiky part that we think of when we think of stingrays.
Well, I think they're always, whenever I see them, I still you know, I know divers that are, you know, they collect so many fossils, and at this point when they see that stuff, they're like, oh, I got enough of it. But I'm still new where I'm like, no, I'm still filling jars. I need to add it to my bag.
It's so fun. It's anything fossilized I still collect. I have a rock collection, of course, because I'll pick up anything that looks like a fossil.
Right, you never know.
Of course.
So let's talk about this, because you shared this with me when I got in the shop, and this is something special that I never knew. I mean, it makes sense in terms of, you know, anatomy of a shark and just medically, but I'll show everybody.
Yeah, so this tooth is very special. Pay close attention to the tip of the enamel there along the side. So
other side.
Jess is pointing to that right there. So while that looks like maybe broken enamel, that is a complete tooth. And so there's folding in the enamel there. It actually looks like it may have, you know, 2 tips there. So that is a phenomenon that is known as a pathological shark tooth. So what can happen over a shark's lifetime is it can either be born with a disease, or it can have a disease over its lifetime, or a genetic mutation that creates some sort of malfunction within the shark.
Yeah.
It has a disease, and it will translate into the physical features of the shark. And so this disease causes gnarly teeth. And that is something that I personally love to collect. I know that collectors, you were talking about how they'll find these normal little fossils that are very common. Typically, collectors, they'll go after these pathological teeth because all of them are, not one is alike. They're all unique. They're amazing.
I mean, to me, it's just fascinating because it really shows, it makes you think about the life of that shark, you know, what happened to it, and it puts in, I think, more into perspective that it is a living creature.
Yes.
Which is just crazy, you know?
Yeah, they can have illnesses just like humans, and so it connects us to their life and maybe some of the struggles that they had to go through. You can imagine feeding with a tooth that's all malformed. It can be very difficult, and so these poor sharks, but their teeth they tell a story.
They do.
So it's amazing.
They do. I love it. And so speaking of this, and this is a megalodon.
That's a megalodon, yes. It's from Bone Valley.
So megalodons, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people come to Venice, is to get a megalodon tooth. It is, you know, I actually, on my necklace here, this was my first megalodon. It's not even a full megalodon, but, you know, it's kind of a chunk is off of it. I was like, it's my first. I'm going to treasure it. What makes megalodon teeth special? And then at what point, you know, I've heard some megalodon teeth go for $1 million.
Oh my goodness.
You know, what makes, you know, what size are they rare, or, you know, what makes them special?
So I actually appraise megalodon teeth, so perfect.
I'm asking the perfect person.
So what I look for when I'm doing megalodon tooth appraisals, I look at the location that they're found, because some locations, they can be much rarer to find whole. Typically in certain locations, they'll be very broken up, and if you do find a whole one, it's amazing.
Okay.
And so I look at location, I look at the color. Certain colors are more collectible. I do look at the serrations. We want to see how complete the tooth looks. I look at this structure known as the burlette. That is the area between the root and the gum. It's kind of a little blackish area on right here. So you can see the burlette there.
Yeah.
And many different structures. And so typically what we find is that once a megalodon tooth reaches about 3 inches, there's more of a price jump. It's worth a lot more. And then once it reaches 5 inches, there's a price jump.
Yeah.
And lucky for Venice,
big tooth.
It's amazing. For Venice here, it's really rare to find a tooth over 5 inches. And so Venice teeth that are that big, they're extremely collectible, and they're highly sought after.
And is it because this area is just the way that the sediment rolls in and history, or is it because we've over fossilized hunted?
So behaviorally, we're finding that megalodons that were really, really large, they came here to breed. They didn't typically stick around here. I believe that's the ongoing hypothesis. Places like South Carolina, they find a lot of bigger megalodon teeth, and they're digging them up. They're finding them when they're going fossil diving.
Okay, I'm gonna have to add that to my dive list.
Absolutely. And so when we compare those locations, that's one of the things we look for. A large tooth in South Carolina is worth less overall than a large tooth in Venice because it's harder to find the teeth here.
Fascinating. I did not know that, but that does make sense. And I'm assuming that the different colorations goes back to the sediment along with smaller teeth as well.
Absolutely.
It's the same theory.
It sure does.
That's super cool. So we're actually going to move over to the swallow over here because there are some really super badass things that
so cool.
you had come in contact with a fossil collector that recently passed away, and they have handed down to her part of the collection. So we're going to take a look at that. I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to take this off my handy dandy. Oh, here we go. Sorry, everybody. We're back.
All right. So right up here, my friends, we have many, many pathological teeth. And so you can see really cool deformities such as split tips. It looks like the sharks had like a double tooth going on. There's a really cool one right here. This one might be easier to see on camera there.
Still getting used to this mirrored flip view.
Can be a little hard.
That's crazy. It almost looks like a crab claw.
It's insane. Absolutely.
And so what's the deal with that?
So that's another one of our pathological teeth that had some sort of deformity happen, maybe a genetic mutation. I haven't gotten far into my research on why these happen, but I do know it's from all sorts of different diseases and genetic things.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, so what are some of the other highlights on here that we got going on?
We have a split-tip tiger, which is super cool right here. That one's very, very fun to check out.
Wow.
And then going on to our left here, all the way at the end, we have a beautiful hemipristis shark tooth, otherwise known as a snaggletooth shark. And this is a very rare size, so it's beautiful. The shark's teeth don't typically come that big.
Wow. And that is just to give you that's pretty big.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got crazy serrations going on as well. Such a pretty tooth. Hemipristis shark teeth, they're my favorite personally. I love how gnarly they look. Yeah, that is. And to think that it's lasted so long over time and that detail's still there. Like, could you imagine like how sharp they were when they were still in the mouth? Yeah, they have those adaptations to really thrash around and mess up their prey. Up there we have some predator teeth. So I'm still learning about the actual IDs of these. If anybody does happen to know, please let me know. Got lots of cool stuff. This is a full stingray barb right here. So they're very, very rare to find in that size. That's complete.
That can cause some damage.
Oh, it certainly can.
Like a little shank on a tail.
Of course. Moving up here, these are the teeth that we associate with jaws. So those are great white teeth. And so we have the great black. It's fossilized. It's got that beautiful black color.
Wow.
Then some smaller great whites, a quite large one there. That's really, really crazy. So those are the teeth that Jaws has.
So we got a question from Roger Miller.
All right, Roger.
What are the most common sharks there around here?
Sharks. So the most common modern sharks, I believe, are the reef-type sharks, like black tips. Back in the day, I'd have to say, in my opinion, I don't know for sure, but based on collecting for many years, I'd say that either bulls or sand sharks or lemons.
Okay.
Get those three. It's a real tie. I do see lemons popping up a whole lot. So those are more common sharks.
Great, great, awesome.
Really good question. I love it.
Yeah. Well, and these are, you guys, and so some of these obviously are part of the shop's collection that aren't for sale, but there are a good portion of fossils that are found, and then also you go out seeking and acquiring them for people to purchase, which is really nice. Yeah, we have some excellent makos down here. They're super pretty. Nice. So when you come and you don't find something on the beach, you can purchase it and throw it in the sand and feel like you kind of did. You can feel something, Many of our shark teeth are from Florida. We actually work with local fossil divers, and they're so kind to us. They give us the best teeth. They always find amazing things. Well, and let's talk. So in this case over here, these are some big uns. Yes. So these are actually juveniles, if you can believe it. What? We have shark teeth in here that range from about 1.5 inches to just around 3 inches. Wow. And so those are some crazy teeth. We love them. Lots of different colors again, and we remember that's from the different sediments that they fossilized in. And I apologize, everybody, that my screen is backwards and that the language is backwards. I'm still I did not flip the screen around, so that was a fail on my part.
Oh.
But these, I mean, the fossils still are amazing. And then you have a bunch of, you know, down here that have some barnacles on them. And
yeah, so those are broken ones. And so the divers always will get faked out. They'll find ones that are just sticking out of the sand just barely, and they'll grab them, and they're not whole.
yeah.
But we have those guys. We're able to offer them at a good price as well.
Nice. All right, so we got another question from Jim. He says, never heard of lemon sharks. Can you talk more about them, size, and why are they called lemon sharks?
All right, so I actually have this amazing book right here, and typically I'll bring this out when we discuss shark tooth identification.
Yeah.
So this is about the lemon shark. So he looks like this. He's a cool looking shark. They have this yellowish hue to their skin, which aids in camouflage. So they'll be against the sand on the bottom, and they kind of just sulk there. They hang out, and they're really hard to spot by other predators and prey. And so their camouflage helps them a whole lot. And they're known as the lemon shark due to that camouflage. They can grow to 8 to 10 feet long.
Wow.
They're still around today, too. So I know that divers do encounter them, but they're generally more friendly sharks, which is super exciting.
Yeah. So out of the most common shark, obviously, for teeth that's historical is the megalodon. But all these other sharks that we're talking about are still existing today, which is pretty cool.
They have modern descendants that are still around. So we can go and see these sharks, which is so cool.
Yeah, and obviously I'm a big fan of that. And, you know, once again, if you guys are down here in Venice, Florida, they have a bunch of shark tooth sifters. You know, that's what the shop, one of their things that they're known for. And this week, if anybody has any other questions about sharks or shark teeth fossils, feel free to, you know, pop them in the comments, and I can definitely get them over to Brittanie, and we can answer some more questions via the comment section. But this week, if you share this video, you'll actually go into a drawing to win a necklace that is actually right here from the shop with a tooth from Venice, Florida. All right. I think any other fun facts that you can think of that we can share? I think we covered a lot, which I really appreciate your time. This has been awesome. I know that people that chimed in have really liked it, and I know that once people get sharing, it'll be great, you know, to share the information about fossils, because there's so much to know about them.
There really is, and you could spend a whole lifetime studying them and still not know everything. Yeah,
it is. It goes back to our first conversation when I first got down here. I definitely thought that all teeth were black, and that's what I needed to look for, but it's definitely super fun. Well, thank you so much again for your time today. I'm sure that we'll do some more of these, because I feel like it's obviously always fun to come down and visit Brittanie, and she's incredibly intelligent on this subject and on sharks. So thank you so much for joining us on Ocean Friday, and we will catch you next time. And don't forget to share, and have a fantastic weekend.
We'll see you, friends.
Bye.